Last weekend we visited Aunt Florence again. I marvel at her knowledge, her unique style, and of course, her darling dresses. I've never seen someone like her in my life. I am sure our mamas would forbid our visits if they knew everything she taught us. I believe that is why she asks us never to reveal her secret words and peculiar habits. She even dresses and behaves differently when she visits Rose's family or when she meets us where we alight the carriage. But then, as soon as we are in her carriage, she seems to turn into someone else, full of life and spirit. When we arrived at her home, her maid Bonnie, as she calls her, showed us to our room. But Aunt Florence said the house wasn't ready yet, not until we have given it the fairy blessings together. As soon as I heard those words, I knew we were going to have a wonderful time at her place. Bonnie brought a tray full of items and joined us for the ritual. On the tray, there was a pot, oranges, a bunch of lavender, some sprigs of thyme, and a few small balls. Aunt Florence took a bottle of water from the cupboard behind her, saying it was magical water. When we were ready, we held hands and Aunt Florence began her spell. She expressed gratitude for her home, for our visit, for Bonnie, for the water and the flowers. She talked about being kind and grateful, especially for nature. And finally, she whispered to the fairies and asked them to keep the house in harmony and our spirits content and lively. I do not remember all her words, but she finished her enchantment with "In Cordon." She said it means a happy place. She then placed the pot over the fire. It soon began to spread a lovely fragrance throughout the room, and we could enjoy a cup of tea and scrumptious pastries while bathed in the sweet, fresh aroma. As we followed Aunt Florence to her library, Bonnie poured the mixture into smaller bowls and carried them to the different rooms, perfuming and blessing the entire house. Dear Mrs. Harrison, I have no words to describe the joy you have brought into my life by sending me my grandmother's belongings. Reading her diary and learning more about her has somehow made me understand more about myself, and I have the feeling that she's here, guiding me. I still have a lot to discover, but in every story, on every page, I can see how beautiful your friendship was and how memorable your time was together. There are so many questions I would like to ask you. How did you two meet? Did you know my grandfather? I'm so intrigued by it all, but especially the scroll about a pact, the Dandelion Pact. What does that mean? I'm so glad I reminded you of my grandmother. I do not believe I am as special as you and my grandmother, though. I do not have a kindred spirit as you both did. I do not have many friends, and most people think I am weird, but I seek solace in reading her stories, and they motivate me to create a meaningful life. I wish you a prompt recovery, and I hope I can visit you soon. With love, Winifred.